Hey, it's Heidi. Welcome back for another video. I'm so glad you're here. Today we're going to talk about functioning addicts or alcoholics. What is it? What is the impact? And what are you going to do about it now? So if you're new here, I just want to take a minute and say welcome home. I'm really glad you're here. You found this channel. We're dedicated to codependence, understanding it, making sense of it. It's just a way to function and dysfunction. We talk about all things toxic relationship recovery and dysfunction here on this channel. So welcome. I'm so glad that you found me. This is a tough topic. I have to tell you, I have started and stopped this video like 4 times because this is such a difficult thing to understand, this functioning addiction. What the heck is that anyway? And is there even such a thing as a functioning addict? Well, my first experience with a functioning addict was my own relationship with my father, who was an alcoholic. And to me, what functioning meant was he went to work every day. He got up at the same time. He was a coal miner. And then he worked his way up in the coal mine. So you saw him progressing through work. He got up every morning at the crack of dawn, like 5 o'clock in the morning, and he worked his butt off. Hardworking man. He'd come home. As soon as he got home, he'd have dinner. He'd crack a beer and drink, and just not stop drinking until he went to bed. And he drank a lot. I mean, he'd be at that point where you're like, he's getting drunk. You can see the writing on the wall. But he wasn't like belligerent, and he wasn't mean, and he wasn't horrible or any of those things. He just drank himself until he was ready to go to bed. And he'd go to bed, and he'd wake up the next morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. Seems pretty functioning, right? And go back to work and start all over again. Now, on the weekends, he would drink more. So that looked pretty functioning. And for a while, it stayed that way. In fact, as I got older, he would still go to work every day. He was still functioning, but the drinking got worse to the point where it was like, it was causing issues when friends would come over. It would be embarrassing, or I would be like mortified and not want him to be around when my friends are over for like out of left field, not knowing what the heck he was going to say or what he was going to do. He would fall down and hurt himself more often. He would be belligerent sometimes. He would be inappropriate other times or make inappropriate jokes and things like that. But he still got up at 5 o'clock in the morning and he still went to work every day. And then we'd have Christmas, and then he would like fall into the Christmas tree or find a way to like ruin Thanksgiving or embarrass me at the Mexican restaurant or embarrass the family other ways. But he still got up at 5 o'clock in the morning and went to work every day. And for his whole entire life, we called him a functioning addict, a functioning alcoholic. Now, my second interaction with a functioning alcoholic was me. And I was the type of drinker where I was a binge drinker. And I would march into the corporate office and I would make millions of dollars for that company. And I would go home at the end of the night in whatever city I'd flown into. And I would drink or take some Ativan to relax and drink so much that I would like just check out and forget everything. But I woke up on time and put my heels on in my suit and marched into that company and made millions of dollars and did that over and over and over again. Now, mind you, it was impacting other areas of my life, like my relation. I was lonely. I didn't have any relationships. But you know, when we think about functioning addicts or alcoholics, the last place we look for pain is in money. So we judge functioning by money. As long as somebody is working and providing for themselves or their family, we think they're a functioning addict or alcoholic. I mean, look, it's not like they're like the guy on the corner, homeless, drinking all day from sun up to sundown with nothing to his name, right? This is a person who's successful, so they're functioning. Now, that is probably the biggest crock of shit ever known to man, because while it's not showing up in our pocketbooks, and that keeps us functioning, the dysfunction shows up in area of relationships. And I know from my dad as a young kid, I would look at my father and I would think how it's harder for a kid to make sense of a functioning addicted parent than it is for like a totally checked out, drunk parent that's like has nothing, they're a degenerate parent, a total absent parent. It's harder for a kid to make sense of a functioning alcoholic or functioning addict because they look and they say, how can my dad get it together for work, but he can't get it together for me? How can my dad make that work function and put on the face around his boss and act like he's fine, but he's falling down and embarrassing me in front of my friends? Does he just value work more than me? Does he just save his drinking from me? That's what you start to wonder. So if you're in a family with a functioning addict and dad's going to work every day and he's paying your bills and he's taking care of your family, I'm going to tell you, your kids are still up in their room crying, wondering why dad saves his drinking for them. That's what they're wondering. Kids are affected and impacted whether the bills are paid or not. The marriage is impacted whether the rings come and the hair can get done or not. Money shouldn't be the last place we look to check around and see, is this an issue? Lots of addicts and alcoholics have lots and lots of money. It's such like a lie that we tell ourselves that if you're an addict or an alcoholic, you have to be homeless and not have any teeth, and you have to be able not to provide for yourself. Do you know how many addicts and alcoholics are rich, loaded, highly successful? There's those quotes again, highly successful. Why is it that in our country and in everywhere else and a lot of places too, we measure success on our financial ability to provide and not on the relationships and the wake of damage and destruction that we're causing to our children, our spouses, and generations to come? In my own relationship, I was making a lot of money traveling around the country and being a business consultant and acting like I had it all together, and behind closed doors, I was falling apart. I was drinking. I was, doing things full of shame, even like not even remembering what I was doing. And in the meantime, I was creating havoc in my relationships, making the people that loved me worried about me, concerned about me. And my argument was, well, I'm fine. Look, I just bought a house. I just bought a car. I'm fine. Relationships that I was in, intimate relationships, boyfriends that I was with, making them Google search, is my girlfriend an alcoholic? But she just binge drinks. Like, what's that? We make binge drinking okay. We think, well, as long as you don't drink every day, you're a functioning addict. If you can go days in between, you're fine. I was like an overachieving binge drinker. I would drink to the point of like not knowing where the heck I was, and I'd wake up the next day and drink a green smoothie and go to the gym and feel like I'm good now. And then a couple of days would go in between. I'd binge drink, fall down, forget my own name, wake up, drink a green smoothie, and go to the gym. I'm not an alcoholic, see? Can we just get rid of addict, alcoholic, functioning, not functioning, substance use disorder? Get rid of all the titles and just ask yourself, hey, we look around and ask ourselves, what's the fallout? Who am I impacting? Whether I want to put a label on myself or not a label, I'm not for that anyway, because I think at the end of the day, that's what gets us in trouble. Because I could argue I'm not an alcoholic because I don't need it. I can go without it. I can take it or leave it. But meanwhile, my relationships are falling apart. That should be your barometer for whether you're functioning or not. All right? That's just the discussion I want to have today. What makes a functioning person is, are you surrounded by dysfunction? If there is dysfunction in your relationships with people, in any way, shape, or form, dysfunction, you are not a functioning addict or an alcoholic. And I don't care how much money you make. That's a good barometer from now on. As a relationship person, and knowing the impact of addiction on our own lives, the own self-abuse we inflict, but just the abuse we inflict on other people too, with our drinking, that's the barometer to whether you're functioning or not. My dad brought home a paycheck, but I'm going to tell you what, the lasting impact that he left with his drinking from growing up in that environment, whether he brought home that money or not, has taken a lifetime to undo. And you got to become aware of the impact. It doesn't matter how often or how much your relationships are impacted. People are wondering why you're picking alcohol over them, why you can stop but you start again, why you binge and black out but then you're going to the gym. It's very confusing for the people that love you to understand, and you're still arguing with them you're not an alcoholic. Well, are they fucking unhappy? Are you hurting people? I know that's harsh. I know my language can be really to the point, but I want you to understand, we've got to stop this delusion that we're fucking functioning. Where there is dysfunction, there is no functioning. So let that be the barometer and ask yourself, and if it's you and you say, okay, I see, all right, yep, if we're talking relationships, then no, I am not functioning. Some people are still delusional, thinking, well, I don't drink that much, and so people are not really that impacted that much. You know, you don't need to fall down 15 times. You can fall down one and have somebody be scared shitless once and have it be enough. Okay, you can make a jerk out of yourself at a party one time and not 10 times and have that one time leave a mark. We don't need to be repeatedly hurting people. Hurting people once is enough. If your drinking is causing an impact, or the drinking of somebody else is causing an impact, we all need to get well. We all need to take a look around and say, okay, what can we do? So this video is just a ploy to you, a plea to you, not a ploy, a plea to you, to help you understand that functioning alcoholism isn't real. Functioning addiction isn't real. The proof is in the dysfunctional family. The proof is in the dysfunctional relationship. So show this video to somebody you love. I'll take the heat. Throw me under the bus. Or if it's you and I'm making you hot, then good. That's good first step, right? Awareness is the first step. I just want to encourage you to keep taking the next step. Over at lovecoachheidi.com, we have a ton of resources for you. I mean, not just to mention this channel of free videos, like there's over 300 videos here, okay? There's a lot of videos. But if you want help in your family and you need answers specifically, and you want one-on-one type of support, or you want a group setting type of support, go over to lovecoachheidi.com and check out some of our courses and programs that we have to offer and look around for more of our videos. But if you're new here, welcome. This is the start of something wonderful between us. I'm really glad you're here. And if you've been here for a while, let's deepen our relationship. Why don't you think about allowing me to come alongside of you and hear what you have to say and work with you in a deeper way? All right. I love you. Take excellent care of yourself. Make sure you like this video if it was helpful for you and leave us a comment. We always appreciate them. All right. Love you.